Hello, Feuzion. My name is Alex Fuse, the host of Fusion News, and you, of course, are watching another brand new Fusion News episode. Well, we are 4 away from 300 shows here tonight, and today is January 30th, 2017, and on the busiest week in the life of the NFL sport, I am joined right now by NFL.com writer Matt Harmon. So, Matt, thank you for joining me on this very busy NFL week.
Absolutely, my friend. It is, this is what it's all building up to. So it's a good time to be talking, and I'm, excited. I think we've got a really good game on our hands here. At least let's hope so.
Yeah, definitely. And now, are you down in Houston or not?
Oh no, I'm not that important. I'm still back up here in Los Angeles, holding down the fort at the office. But things are still happening back up here as well.
Now, speaking of exciting games, I had you on my show about 2 weeks ago, and I, wrote down your predictions, and you had the Packers versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and of course, that did not happen. And the Falcons versus the Patriots, you gave the Falcons a lot of credit, I will say that. And you said Matt Ryan was one of the best quarterbacks right now, and you gave the Falcons a lot of credit. You didn't write them off, but the Falcons versus the Patriots, of course, are the Super Bowl matchup. And so, what is your thought about this game this next Sunday?
I mean, I think this is a really interesting game to try to break down and predict. The Patriots are always an interesting game plan to try to solve. With the way they mix everything up to try to take away the opponent's best threat while also on offense exploiting the opposing defense's biggest weakness. They're a tough group to try to predict week to week, which is really what makes them good. And the Falcons, though, to their credit, going against this team that tries to take away your biggest threat is that they have so many threats. They've scored 71 more points than the next highest team this year, and I think we'll see them be tough to stop here again. I can't imagine this being a low-scoring game with Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, also going against the red-hot Falcons offense.
Definitely. Now, I have to ask, do you think the Patriots are more afraid of the Falcons offense than Roger Goodell is afraid of the New England Patriots?
I would assume so. I would assume so. I think that, that will be a seamless transition no matter what, but I can't imagine stopping the Falcons offense will be a seamless act. They've been tough to stop at all points this year, and especially in the postseason. I mean, they've really blown the doors off the last two teams they've faced.
Now, if, of course, the New England Patriots defeat the Falcons this Sunday, what would you assume would be going through Roger Goodell's mind handing over that Super Bowl trophy back to the New England Patriots, the year that Tom Brady was suspended for the infamous Deflategate?
I would imagine the thought would be, let's just get this over with. I'm sure it'll be an awkward moment for all involved, but Brady is a pretty professional guy, no matter how motivated he might be, and behind the scenes to kind of have his revenge or this, that, or the other. You don't get to be as great as you are in your profession as he has without having an insane work ethic that might borderline on crazy. But I think that the whole situation will probably go pretty seamlessly. I would imagine either party wants to take away from, if it happens, take away from the moment that will be, another Super Bowl win for New England.
Definitely hope that, the transaction between the trophies are seamlessly, like you just said. Now, I have to ask you, Matt, are you a wrestling fan or no?
I am not a big wrestling fan, but one of my good friends, or one of my roommate and I's good friends, does enjoy it. So I was actually watching it a little bit last night, but I don't really know much about it. But they were just over at the apartment, so I've seen a little bit.
Yep. And I have to ask you, of course, Hulk Hogan. Everyone knows Hulk Hogan. Now I compare Hulk Hogan with Chris Hogan. And, this guy is running wild for the New England Patriots these days. And, if Hogan doesn't perform the way he did the past 2 games for the New England Patriots, do you think that could hurt the New England Patriots in this big Super Bowl matchup?
Well, I think the great thing about the Patriots, much like the Falcons, is that they can beat you in so many different ways. And it really just depends on what Belichick defines pregame as the Falcons' biggest weakness. I think you can have a long conversation about what that might be. The Falcons have actually been, okay, not great at defending the deep ball, which is what Hogan has primarily done in New England. I would keep an eye out actually for other weapons like, Dion Lewis and James White coming out of the backfield against, a set of rookie linebackers covering for the Falcons there, and also rookie wide receiver on the Patriots, Malcolm Mitchell. He should have a pretty good matchup with Jalen Collins on the Falcons defense at the right cornerback position. So I think those three guys could be sneaky contributors if the Falcons do look to take away somebody like Julian Edelman or even Chris Hogan, who have been hotter recently.
Yeah, definitely. Now, before I ask your predictions, I know you were saying that you were watching the Rumble last night, and I have to ask you, as a non-wrestling fan, did you enjoy the pay-per-view last night or no?
Well, I didn't have to pay for it, so that helps.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun to throw a little. My friends and I put some who was paying for dinner that night on the line with whichever one by choosing random numbers. So it's fun if you do a little something like that with it. It's entertaining, and it's not my favorite thing, but it's not the worst thing in the world to watch.
Yeah, I'm a big wrestling fan, and I'll be talking about the Royal Rumble next here on Feuzion News and why I think the WWE hates their fans, so stay tuned for that. And now, Matt, I have to ask you, of course, before we wrap up the interview, what are your predictions for this Super Bowl matchup?
Well, like I said, this is a tough game to project. I think these are two pretty close teams that can beat you in a number of different ways, but I think that this is the Falcons' year. I think their offense is just too good to stop right now. I mean, like I said, scoring 71 more points than the next highest scoring team in the regular season, beating up on the Packers the week after they really pulled away from the Seahawks in the second half. I'm going to take the Falcons to win this game. And, it's hard to go away from Matt Ryan as the MVP, but I think Taylor Gabriel, the speedy gadget receiver there, is going to be a big X factor in this game.
Okay. Well, Matt, I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, of course, on the busiest week of the year down there at NFL headquarters. And, I have to ask, where do you think the fans can follow you on Twitter and read your articles online?
Yeah, you can follow me at @Harmon_BYB on Twitter, and you can read my stuff at NFL.com/Harmon.
Okay, great. Thank you again, Matt, for coming on, and I hope to talk to you to wrap up the Super Bowl in the next few weeks.
My pleasure, man. Enjoy the game on Sunday.
Thank you. You too. Okay, Fuse Nation, like I just said earlier, why do I think the WWE hates their fans? And, of course, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view was last night. Now, every single match leading up to that Royal Rumble match that was really the most anticipated match that we have seen in the past few years. And, of course, Roman Reigns comes out at number 30 in that match. And, if you weren't aware, the WWE Universe is not really in love with Roman Reigns, as the WWE writers, creative team, Vince McMahon, may think they are. I still don't know why Roman Reigns is being pushed so much in the WWE. Do you think Roman Reigns was put at number 30 to a slap in the face of the WWE fans? Now I have to ask, if you're an owner of a company that, attracts millions of viewers a week, why would you want to slap your fans in the face by throwing one of the most hated wrestlers on that roster at number 30 in the Royal Rumble? Why would you do it? That's why I question, do you think the WWE hates their fans? And of course, the Royal Rumble outcome was thankfully not Roman Reigns, because that was a disaster like we saw a few years ago when, in fact, he won the Royal Rumble. And, of course, Roman Reigns eliminated The Undertaker. Now, The Undertaker was my pick to go on to WrestleMania, and, of course, John Cena defeated AJ Styles for the WWE title in one of the most tremendous matches I've ever witnessed on live TV and pay-per-view. Now, I was hoping that John Cena was going to go on to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania for that WWE title. That, of course, did not happen. Randy Orton, in fact, won the Royal Rumble last night and is going on to WrestleMania to face whoever wins the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. Of course, potentially Bray Wyatt will be in that match, and Bray Wyatt is rumored to win that match and go on to WrestleMania to face Randy Orton for the WWE title. So you know, now you have to question, why would you put Cena over Styles to win the 16th time to become the 16th-time WWE champion, that the only person that was to become the 16th-time champ was the Nature Boy Ric Flair. So now you are telling me you took the time to crown John Cena the 16th-time, now tied with Ric Flair, the great Ric Flair, Hall of Famer, two-time Hall of Famer actually. The 16-time titles, and now that title could potentially only last, that title reign could potentially last 2 weeks. That's a slap in the face to Ric Flair, if you ask me, too. So, of course, the WWE creative team put Roman Reigns in the match at number 30. Came out after The Undertaker did at number 29. And there were no surprise returns or entrants besides Ty Dillinger in that Rumble match that fans were excited for. The WWE probably thought, oh, let's put Roman Reigns in there and let's give this surprise because he was not supposed to be in that match. Let's give him this surprise of him entering the Rumble. Usually the number 30 is a surprise entry that gets the fans excited for their future Road to WrestleMania product. Well, that, of course, did not happen. It really sucked the life out of the arena last night when Roman Reigns came out to the ring at number 30. Eliminated The Undertaker. Surprising night at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And, of course, every single match leading up to that Royal Rumble match was outstanding and probably one of the best put-on performances on a WWE pay-per-view in the past few years. But that Royal Rumble match definitely put a shadow over that whole pay-per-view and left me unhappy and a lot of WWE fans unhappy. Well, WWE's Universe, what do you think about the Royal Rumble? Tweet to me, comment below what you think about that show and pay-per-view. Do you think I'm crazy for claiming that WWE hates their fans? Comment below what you think. Also, thanks for Matt Harmon for coming on my show tonight. Monday Night Raw is tonight as well. Brian Campbell from ESPN will be breaking down the Royal Rumble, Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown Live tomorrow night on Wednesday afternoon. What does he think about the Royal Rumble? And when I ask him, does the WWE hate their fans? Okay, Feuzion Nation, thanks for watching. Always be a subscriber of Feuzion News as well. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.